We had a very good discussion after Nicolas' presentation. Just a few words to get us going. My name is Antoine Jaume. I am a consultant in management and business ethics from Paris, France, and coordinating this work of Initiatives of Change Business and Economy program. I will not go into introducing initiatives of change. If you have any questions, I will answer them. But initiatives of change in the general advocates applying moral norms to business as well as to personal life. That's one of the main points in order to establish trust, because trust is the needed basis for any lasting social endeavor, and more specifically for any lasting change for good in the economy. So that's why we are very happy to be able to hear first and then discuss what Nicolas is going to tell us, because Nicolas has made some very concrete steps in the direction of improving the world of economy. And he's in many ways involved in this. He has been not only creating jobs by creating a business, but also supporting very strongly the B Corp movement. And I'm sure he will develop more of his thoughts on how to make business caring, because he's also a supporter of the care economy, or the caring economy, you say, I think, Nicolas. Up to you, Nicolas, to tell us more.
Thank you very much, Antoine. Thank you for this invitation to this webinar of Initiatives of Change. So, hi, everybody. I'm very happy to join you today. I'm Nicolas Soubelet. Originally, I was trained as an engineer, and I spent 15 years of my career in the automotive industry, working for a French car company, Peugeot Citroën, now part of the Stellantis group. That's actually where I met Antoine. We worked together a little bit in this previous career that we had. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about my entrepreneurship experience, and then we'll open the discussion about the caring economy. Yes, as you said, Antoine. So after 15 years in the automotive industry, I had the opportunity to do an executive MBA. Well, originally to continue my career in the automotive industry, and in the end, it happened to be a very transformative experience. In the middle of this executive MBA, I actually decided to leave the automotive industry and create, with my partner, my own company in the circular economy. And actually, we've been working together now for more than 10 years in this company. We've been leading it, and I'm also on the side. I'm also a consultant to encourage top managers to have a more positive impact with their own company on all their stakeholders. So when we created the company called Ma Bonne Étoile, which means my good star in French, we actually started with a very personal issue. We had, at that time, we just had our 5th child together, my wife and I, and we were using these single-use food pouches that I'm sure you've heard about. In France, they're almost exclusively filled with applesauce. In other countries, you can find just about anything. If you go to America, you even find spaghetti bolognese in them. And we actually had used them for our first 4 children, and we noticed how convenient they were. But we also noticed the state of our trash. And these single-use pouches are not recyclable, and we realized that for a use of just a few seconds, this was actually big trash. Every year, just in France, it's more than 1 billion of these single-use pouches that are thrown away. And when we realized that, we decided that maybe there would be something to do about it. And actually, my wife saw some kind of, let's say, a reusable food pouch in America, and also I think it was on the Australian market. But the way it was made was not exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to manufacture this reusable food pouch close to the point of use. So let's say in Europe, as we're based in Paris, and we wanted to actually make it let's say, a project with positive impact. So when I left the automotive industry, and my wife also left her job, she was a midwife at that time, we decided that we wanted to put all our, let's say, family values in this entrepreneurial project. So we started with the idea of saying, let's reduce waste and let's help others reduce waste. So we found a manufacturer actually based in Switzerland, and we started producing these reusable food pouches. And in 10 years, we have managed to sell approximately 2 million of these. So I'm not sure that we can see very well because of my background, but it should be enough to understand what these are. So they're equipped with a zip at the bottom, and they can be refilled and washed very easy. So very simple idea. We just take a single-use packaging and we make it sustainable. We make it refillable and reusable many times. So no, we calculated that this packaging or this container now could be used at least 50 times. So if you manage to sell 2 million of them, it means that more or less you've managed to spare the equivalent of 100 million pouches, single-use pouches, to the environment, which is some kind of impact, let's say. After 7 years, we did a fundraising. We raised 2 million with impact funds, with 2 impact funds, one that is actually a French mission-led company, and another one which is a Swiss B Corp. So we raised 2 million, and with these 2 million, we developed other types of containers that were all produced in Europe and all, let's say, as durable as possible. And this has become really our specialty, making reusable containers. But the way we wanted to do this was not just make reusable containers. We wanted to have a positive impact on all our stakeholders. And so very early, we decided to become a B Corp because we thought that this could be a very good guide in order to, let's say, have the most impact on the most stakeholders that was possible. So the B Corp movement arrived in France in 2015, and we actually became a B Corp. My wife was actually part of the board of B Corp, and she still is actually a representative of the SMEs in France. And we've been actually very active in this community. What we like in B Corp is that it's not just a label that will help you define or understand which are your stakeholders and how you can improve your impact on all the stakeholders, but it's also a community of companies, a community of top managers that can share good practices, that can share ideas, and they also share values. If you share values in the community, it's actually very interesting because you can do business more easily. So we have some of our customers are B Corp, and we met them through the movement. And same for suppliers. We have several suppliers that are B Corps. So yes, 10 years of being a B Corp. We're also, when we did our fundraising, we also became a mission-led company. And so we have our mission, our raison d'être, as we say in French, and key objectives. And being part of these two communities was, let's say, a very helpful way to manage the change in our own company, also to drive it, to embark all our employees in this idea. The more we progressed through this entrepreneurship journey, the more questions arose on how we could improve our impact. And when I say we, I say Elizabeth, my wife, and myself. And we also saw how much the society in which we live in moved in 10 years. I can tell you that when we went to see managers of stores 10 years ago, and we talked about zero waste, fighting single use 10 years ago, and replacing the single-use pouches by these ones, a lot of them were looking at us like, why? Why do you want to do that? We sell so many of them, and we will reduce our turnover with your product, of course. Today we get these questions much less, and that's a good sign. Today we see a lot of stores that are bulk stores, at least in France. We start seeing them in other countries in Europe, in England, in Germany, it's going slowly. We see some of these stores in Canada, but also lots of organic stores sell their products without packaging. It happens more and more. And so this is a good sign that things are moving on the, let's say, on the waste reduction idea. One thing I didn't say is that when we created the company, that one of the first things that we wanted to do.
We have some background noise. Turn off your mic.
Yes, maybe we won't. Yes, thank you very much.
Sorry, I cut your mic. Sorry. You have to reopen it yourself. Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
So yes, what I was going to say is that we not only wanted to have an impact on the environment, in let's say on the waste economy when we created the company, but we also wanted to have impact on people. And all the production and all the packaging of our products are conducted by people with disabilities. So in special centers in France that are actually very close to our headquarters, so in the nearby communities. And we managed to create, let's say, 40 jobs in these kinds of centers. So we felt that it was a very important thing that we wanted to do in our local communities. So this, throughout time, this led us to think more and more about how we could conceptualize all of this. And we see, and I'm sure that some of you have read the works of Kate Raworth with Donut-Economy. And we really enjoyed reading these all this work, and we let's say joined the team, worked with them also, and we feel that, let's say, the way she presents things is actually very very clear and very helpful. So I'm just going to make a very small summary on this. But basically, the choice of the donut as an image was made in order to, let's say, show where our society should be. The society should be in between two things. On one side, what we call the social minimums. And actually, in most, Western developed, I don't know what word I should use, countries, let's say, most of the minimums have been reached. Actually, we're, you know, we have become maybe so developed that we could even wonder if this is not actually growth for the sake of growth sometimes. So we are way beyond the social minimums, which is not the case for all the countries on this planet. On the other side, the outside of the donut, you have the planetary limits. And there's also some work that has been done on this topic. And I am sure that most of you have read that out of the 9 so-called planetary limits, already 6 of them have been reached. Some of them were reached, and then we, like for instance, the ozone layer. At some point, the ozone layer was really destroyed, and with all the work that we did, we managed to come back, and this limit is not reached anymore. But out of 9 today, there are 6 that have been reached already. And so we feel that this model is actually very, very clear. And it really shows the space where our companies, but also the society in itself, should evolve. So we're very, let's say, very happy of this presentation that is made by the Kate Rayworth and her team. When we talk about the caring economy, we basically mean caring about others, the environment on one side, and people, and mainly, let's say, everything that is alive. And so, you know, we try to understand where else the way should be shown. In Europe, a strong decision was recently made, and companies would have to report through the CSRD. This is a very, very brave move that was made by Europe. Also because it includes double materiality, impact that companies have on their environment as much as the environment has impact on the companies. But the other reason why it's a brave move is that this, let's say, this initiative of measuring all of this, of this reporting, was shared with the authority that makes accounting standards. So is this authority well placed to do that? Does it have enough experience to do it? Maybe not, but at least it is the authority that makes the accounting standards. So it will make them move. This is, I think I'd like to share a few other things about the caring economy. There are a few things that we need to think about, and maybe this could be discussed in some of the groups that will be made afterwards. It's the idea of stopping the privatization of profits and the socialization of losses at the same time. What do I mean? When we say privatization of profits, we know that in the past, we have had some cases where important innovations came from public universities, and in the end, all the money went, for instance, for some vaccines, and then all the money went to some private firms afterwards. And on the other side, when we talk about socialization of losses, we mean, for instance, Wall Street bailouts. So in the end, doing these two at the same time is the question of who is bearing the risk. The risk is very often borne by us, by the state. And in the end, the profits doesn't go to the state, but goes to a private private entities. So maybe one of the axes of, let's say, improvement would be to design more, let's say, healthier public-private partnerships. Okay, so that's an idea of where we could go in order to improve this caring economy. Another one is try to understand exactly what is counted and what is not counted in our GDP. The GDP is a way of measuring success, but a certain type of success. Does it include all the labor that is the most valuable to society? That's a question. Do we count, for instance, the caring for children, the caring for older people? Is it counted in the GDP? Should it be counted? I don't know if any of you read the book called Who Cooked Adam Smith's Dinner? I highly recommend it. It's very interesting, and it talks about this issue. So maybe we should, and I think the CSRD does that. I mean, that's part of that, but it's really about a change of another measure of success, other than GDP. So we have to see what it could be, but that would actually measure the well-being economy. Okay. Okay, another one would be maybe we should stop acting like the extraction of planetary resources has no cost, and neither does pollution, by the way. So we see the shortcomings of what we call externalities and double bookkeeping. So that's another direction that could be very interesting to work on. And in the end, we see, I mean, there are more and more initiatives about this. There's one in France called Agir pour le vivant, act for, how can I translate the vivant? For everything that is alive. So basically demonstrate more respect for everything that surrounds us in general. And then that could lead us to this. Has any of you heard of Ryan Eisler? Ryan Eisler talks a lot about the need for a move in our society to more partnership, more partnerism, by opposition to domination paradigms. So this is another very interesting one, and something that is slowly moving in the right direction, sometimes too slowly. So here, I hope I give you a few directions to that you find interesting to think about for how to care better, how to care more through your companies, if you have companies, or through your students, if you're a professor. But we need to rework the definition of a company, even though it has evolved a lot in the past 10 years, for the good, and that's great news.
Thank you, Nicolas.